Hi, everybody. Douglas V. Gibbs here, Daily Dose Time. And the question has going all the way back to when the electoral votes, which had been, uh, the electors, provide their votes and then they're sealed and they go to Congress. And then the president of the Senate, according to the 12th Amendment, then must count, along with Congress, count the electoral votes. And there's a lot of people who are very upset because they believed that there was fraud and going on and all of that. And they believe that Vice President Pence, who was president of the Senate, could have then kicked back those electoral votes that he believed to be from fraudulent elections back to the state legislatures or back to the states. And there's been a question that's been bubbling around. A lot of people have their beliefs, and I want to finally clarify and clear it up completely. And really, what got me to do this video is actually a series of emails I had with somebody who is a leader of a local Tea Party in my area. And the first email says, "Hi, Doug, I need to ask you a question. Where in the Constitution does it mention about vice presidents certifying elections? I was looking for it online, but did not find it. Some people who are ignorant believe that he already given me his answer with that. Believe that the vice president has no choice but to certify elections, even if they are suspected to be fraudulent. I have never read that in the Constitution. I do not believe it is in there. Please let me know what the section is in the Constitution regarding this. Thanks in advance for doing so." I responded, the job of Congress and the vice president, as president of the Senate, is not to certify elections. Pence was accurate when he said he had no constitutional authority to certify or decertify the election. Their job is only to count the electoral votes. Certification or decertification is a power that belongs to state legislatures. So now remember, he came to me asking me for an answer, and then he winds up arguing with me eventually. "Thanks, Doug, for getting back to me. Appreciate your answer. The big question is, could Mike Pence have kicked back the battleground states for the fraudulent election? I believe that he could." I responded, no, he could only be involved in the counting. It was up to the state legislatures to make the move. In other words, to say that the electoral votes are good, certified, decertified, whatever. So then I get my final email, which is what inspired me to do this video so that you all are privy to what's going on here. "Hi, Doug, I have to disagree with you. President Trump said that Mike Pence could kick it back, and I believe him." You saying that Donald Trump is more of a constitutionalist than I am? Okay. Furthermore, the article on Mike Pence by Conservapedia says differently. It states Mike Pence illegally certified the election and committed treason. Based on this, I believe that Pence could have refused to illegally certify the election, but failed to do so. I think he misworded there, but this is my take on the matter. So he's basically saying, okay, Doug, everybody's saying that Pence had the ability to just kick him back and decertify the election, blah, 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 blah. Why didn't it happen? Sometimes what's important in the Constitution about what it says is also what it doesn't say. Now, pocket Constitution. I'm going to read you what it says. I'm going to explain something about the Constitution. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to defend anybody or promote anybody or say that someone should be is treasonous. I'm just going to tell you the Constitution. I don't care what the interpretations are. I don't care what Conservapedia or Donald Trump says or some judge says. I'm going to give you straight skinny from the Constitution. All right. So Amendment 12. The president of the Senate shall, in the presence of the Senate and House of Representatives, open all certificates, and the votes shall then be counted. The person having the greatest number of votes for president shall be the president, if such number be a majority, if the whole number of electors of the whole number of electors appointed. And if no person has such a majority, then from the persons having the highest numbers, not exceeding 3 on the list, those voted for as president, the House of Representatives shall choose immediately by ballot the president. There is nothing in there that says the president of the Senate or the Congress, either house, can certify or decertify an election. In fact, the words certify or decertify do not exist in the Constitution at all. Regarding the elections, in Article 1, Section 4, it is very clear here that it is a state legislature. It says, Article 1, Section 4, the times, places, and manner of holding elections for the senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the state legislature thereof, but the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations. Some people are saying, well, that's where Congress has the authority to get involved. No, because it says that this is for elections for senators and representatives. There's nothing mentioned regarding the presidential election in here. When it comes to presidential elections, it comes down to the electors themselves. Article 2, Section 1, second paragraph. Each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which a state may be entitled in the Congress, but no senator or representative or person holding an office of trust or profit on the United States shall be appointed an elector. So, from what I read, the electors are to be appointed by the state legislature. You have the election, the electoral votes are then cast, and then they go before Congress, where the president of the Senate and both houses of Congress together count the votes. Then they determine who's president based on that count. If nobody gets a majority, it goes to the House for a vote if nobody gets a majority of electoral votes. All right, now, and someone says, well, gosh, we never had a fraudulent, so I guess the Constitution wasn't prepared for that. No, not at all. That's not right. Now, let's go to the 10th Amendment. Because I want you all to understand this. Sometimes if something's not in the Constitution, it doesn't mean then they just didn't come up with it, they didn't know, and nobody knows what to do. If something's not in the Constitution, there's a very specific placement of where the authority lies. 10th Amendment. The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, or reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. So, if an authority is not given to the federal government, which it isn't, and there's nothing about certification or decertification anywhere in the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, there's no place that prohibits the states from certifying or decertifying, then the powers are reserved to the states respectively, meaning the state legislatures. Whenever it says the states, it means state legislatures. If it means citizens of states, then it will say citizen states. Now, that said, the people do have, if their state legislatures don't do the job, do have recourse. That's for another video. So, certification, decertification. When Mike Pence said, I don't have the constitutional authority to decertify electoral votes, he was correct. The Constitution does not alter based on what you want it to say or what you want it to do. So, when they had the electoral votes there in Congress, their job was to count them. Whether they were fraudulent or not, whether it could be proven or not at the time, doesn't matter. Those were the electoral votes that had been presented to Congress. Therefore, those are the votes that get counted, and they counted them. And based on that count, Joseph Biden became president. Like it, don't like it, in between. From a constitutional point of view, that's the way it was supposed to happen. If there was fraud, if there was problems, then the courts can be used to prove criminal activity. They can't change the election. The election is not within their jurisdiction, but criminal activity is. So if it can be proven there was fraud and the courts say, okay, yes, there was fraud based on the evidence, now we got, in a case of fraud, we've got a legal precedent saying, okay, 1878, I believe, I was talking about this last night with a friend of mine, that then the person holding office based on fraud no longer holds office. Then what happens? If there was fraud in a particular state, then the state legislature can decertify those electoral votes. Not the president, not the vice president, not Congress, the state legislature. And if 3 or more of these states in question decertify the electoral votes through the state legislature, then nobody has a majority. Nobody has a majority. The House chooses the president, which we read in the 12th Amendment a moment ago. That's the way it's supposed to happen. Now, whether or not it does go through that process, if fraud is ever proven or not proven or whatever, I mean, what we know in our hearts is different from what is being presented, what's out there. I don't want to get too much into that. I like, keeping this channel on this channel, but on this platform. But in the end, Mike Pence did nothing wrong. In the end, Vice President Pence did not have the authority to decertify. He did not have the authority to certify. He was there with Congress to count the electoral votes. That's it. That was their job. 12th Amendment. Certification, decertification, not listed in the Constitution. Therefore, it's a state legislature authority. It's up to them to certify, decertify, whatever. That's from the Constitution. I don't care what Conservapedia says or Trump says or the judges say or this news channel or that news channel says. I'm telling you what the Constitution says. Certification, decertification, not listed, 10th Amendment. It's a state legislature authority. The vice president had no authority to kick them back. He was there to count the votes with Congress. That's it. That's their total job, to count the electoral votes, whether they're good, bad, or in between. And that's as per the 12th Amendment. Hopefully this clarifies things. Sorry if you don't like me anymore. I'm telling you what the Constitution says. So I know there's going to be a few people like, oh, that's it, Doug, you made me. I'm not here to make you happy. I'm here to tell you what the Constitution says or doesn't say, and what the constitutional angle should be based on original intent. And what they do, which direction they go, that may change based on their interpretation. That doesn't change, though, what it should be. So then someone says, well, why did they do this then if it says this? Because usurpers usurp, tyrants act tyrannically, criminals act criminally. I am telling you what the original intent was and what should have happened or what can happen or what's supposed to happen. And in the end, what it comes down to is when Vice President Mike Pence, as President of the Senate, said, I can't decertify him, I don't have that constitutional authority, he knew what he was talking about. Donald Trump, appreciate you as president, appreciate you as an individual. You're wrong if you're saying that Mike Pence had that authority. He did not have the authority. When it comes down to is what the Constitution says or doesn't say, and then you go through the 10th Amendment or whatever else you have to determine what was meant. Certification, decertification, state legislature authority. All right, thanks for watching. United we stand, combined we kick butt. God bless America. God bless you. We'll see you on the next Daily Dose here on this channel or any other videos I do. And be aware, Saturdays 1 to 3 Pacific, I am on KMET 1490 AM with a couple of co-hosts for Constitution Radio. KMET 1490 AM, that's KMET, Kilo Mike Echo Tango, KMET1490am.com. Starting on July 17th, 2021, I have also sealed a deal with a San Diego station, and I am going to begin doing a solo show, a 1-hour show, 9 o'clock Saturday nights. It'll also be available for podcast on 10 different podcast platforms, including iHeartRadio, Apple, TuneIn, and it'll be a Mr. Constitution Hour on KPraise, KPRZ.com. Check it out. We just sealed the deal today. Discussed it yesterday, sealed the deal today. I signed papers actually tonight after this video. And so on the 17th, Mr. Constitution Hour premieres on KPraise down in San Diego. Looking forward to seeing you in the show and, of course, at the next video. We'll see you next time. Have a great one. Happy Independence Day.